we're broadcasting online, so we have to repeat everything that happens here. So I'll call the meeting of the Wells County Plat Committee to order for our March 5th meeting. We'll start with a roll call. Jared Hahn is here. Bill Horan is here. Lynn Huffman is here. Nick Huffman here. And Michael Lotzenheiser here. Okay, everyone is present and accounted for. Approval of our minutes from February 19.
Move to approve the minutes from February 19th.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, motion to approve by Jared and seconded by Mike. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, 5-0. We want to start with the pond.
Pond.
Okay.
Nobody's here for the ponds.
Oh, there's nobody here for the pond, so which one do you want to start with?
Let's just hold that to the end and then come back to it in case somebody does come.
Okay, so we start with number 12?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
get our agenda done.
All right, start with minor subdivisions, PC 2026-012, Steve and Tamla Gregg, 200 west between State Road 124 and 100 north, minor subdivision.
Okay, so this one is splitting off access strip and the wooded area. Nothing to note.
Okay. No special issues or conditions, okay.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, motion to approve by Jared and seconded by Nick. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, 5-0. Next one is C 2026-013, Jameson and Sheena Ringer, Revocable Living Trust at 5068 East 100 North Bluffton, an addition.
Yeah, so we approved an addition, the combine in addition for this project, but before the rest of the real estate sold, they opted to change so that the east frontage, which is basically in the parking lot of TTG, will be part of that addition. So we're just approving the new version of that. So that red outlined area will all be one parcel once everything is done.
Basically all of TTG with the exception of across the road.
Correct. Yeah, will be one parcel. Yep.
I didn't even realize there was a house way back there.
Yes.
Outside.
Yep.
Dr. Schreiber lives.
Move to approve.
Okay,
Second.
I'll give this one to Lynn. Motion to approve by Nick and seconded by Lynn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, 5-0. Next is William and Sandra Dollar, PC 2026-014, south of 11086 South 400 West Montpelier, minor subdivision.
So, yeah, this one is splitting off unapproved acreage. There's nothing to note on this one.
Found some arrowheads there before.
Really? Cool.
Move to approve.
All right, motion to approve by Nick and seconded by Jared. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Turn the page. All right, the next three are connected. We've got PC 2026-015, 016, and 017. Molenkamp Farms LLC and KRJ Farms LLC. We have a combining and two minor subdivisions.
Yeah, so combining the home site and the farm back together and then splitting off the home site and then with one split and then the other split is the farm buildings.
Which one are the farm buildings? One on the east side?
The east side.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So everything
Meets all.
appears to meet setbacks and everything, so don't have anything to note on that.
Move to approve PC 2026 15.
I'll second those. All right, motion to approve all three by Jared and seconded by Bill. All those in favor say aye, aye, aye.
Aye, aye,
Aye, aye, okay. 5-0 on those. No issues or conditions. All right, how many of these? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next 6 are related. PC 2026-018, 019, 020, 021, 022, and 023. Barkley Builders Incorporated, southeast corner of 500 North and 250 East in Ossian.
So here, we're utilizing all 6 sell-offs on the primary parcel.
So a bunch of minor subdivisions. Where's this at? 500 North.
Dixie.
Yeah, it's the,
No, 500 North,
the auction on 500 North, yeah.
east of, or west of State Road 1.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was saying, yeah.
Right before the railroad, is this the railroad tracks right here?
Railroad's right here.
Okay.
So Plat Committee, be aware, this petition will be asking for a reduction in the road frontage requirement for the flag lots. But in this case, it would be or exceed the 50 foot in total, like we've done in the past, but that would be a modification that you would need to approve. They're requesting them to be 12 feet.
Is there an easement on that driveway or
Yes,
shared?
and an easement on the
Some
driveway, yeah.
some agreement, okay. I would move to approve PC 2026-18 through 23 with the modification on the road frontage.
Second.
Okay, motion by Jared for all these 6 and seconded by Nick. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, we're up to 2026-024. Bluffton Family Apartments, LLC, the west end of Central and South Streets, combining properties, or lots, okay.
This is the last piece before the major subdivision petition that the planning commission is hearing this evening. So it would be combining the 2 parcels that they own that would make the overall development property.
So the lot that's in the old subdivision and the
Yes,
remainder.
correct. Yep.
Quick question.
Yes.
With this project, are they gonna be finishing and completing Central Avenue, that
Yes.
area there?
Yes. Central Avenue will be a city street standard all the way to, from their property line
Yeah,
to
I knew
Merchant
that,
Street, yeah.
that the straight, the central part was, but I didn't know like the cul-de-sac and if that was, it's still just gonna be gravel?
They're not touching.
No, they're
those.
paving it.
Okay,
They are paving.
okay.
Not the cul-de-sacs.
Right,
Not the
they're
north,
doing,
not,
Right, I'm
yeah,
asking
not the
about
north
this.
and south
This is
street.
going to get finished, because these are just gravel.
Yeah, not the north and south piece.
Joke.
The city is
Yeah.
talking about that, but no, they're improving Merchant Street with curb and gutter. City street spec.
Okay. So are there any conditions? No conditions? All right,
I would make a motion to approve.
all right. All right, motion to approve this by Mike and seconded by Lynn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. All right, then we'll get back to the pond.
nobody here yet?
So,
Discussion?
So the pond petition, they are showing compliance with setbacks, they're holding at least 75 feet off the top of the bank, the open pitch there, and 50 feet and 20 feet from the, accordingly for the pond on the north side. Have any-
The only thing that I really notice about it is it does appear in the farm north of it that there's some tiling in that farm that very potentially could go through right where the edge of that pond is.
Yeah,
Kind of follow. They just need to be aware that there is a potential tile there. They are responsible to reroute it.
yeah.
It's not the neighbor's responsibility, and it may, could they move their pond closer to, I mean, they could move it to the east
Yeah,
if they so, there's nothing that would hold them back from moving it to the east.
out, if they, especially if,
Like if they would locate it and find it,
yeah. No,
Where's their septic at? And
kind of looks like there's a leach bed right there. Maybe.
yeah, possibly.
yeah, I think it's less the,
Okay.
Do you know who the contractor is?
yeah, it is. Nive Earthworks? Nivik, maybe? Nivik Earthworks? Never, I haven't heard of them. Yeah, Kevin Morgan with Nivik Earthworks.
It might be worth having a sit down with them before they issue the permit.
Yeah, about that. I've got it marked on the drawing, so we'll,
Is this a legal drain here?
Yes.
yep.
Okay.
Say they're far enough away from it. I would just be more nervous on the neighboring farm that it could affect their tiling. I won't say sorry. Do we approve it contingent on having a meeting with both
Yeah,
landowner and contractor?
yeah, I'm okay with that.
We actually do,
Yep.
do we actually vote on it or just?
No, that, we don't have to vote on it, but yes, I'll do that before we issue it.
Make them aware, and if the pond needs to shift to the east,
Yeah.
as long as it still meets setbacks.
Yep,
I-
okay,
I wouldn't have any issue with it.
yeah, we'll address that with them.
Okay. Okey-dokey. All right, so we've got some additional stuff on here.
Real quick, our August 20th date, we've been asked if we could adjust our schedule.
Is that for Plat Committee?
Yeah, for Plat Committee.
Are they doing budget hearings
Yeah,
that
they're
time?
trying to do
Okay.
budget hearing that day, is what they're hopeful to do. So I don't know if you can look at your guys' calendar.
Could we just meet upstairs? I know we don't have the,
I would like not to, but in a pinch, that would be
Is that when they're gonna be, is that just one of their closed hearings, or is that one of the, when they're gonna be having people come to their sessions?
I'm guessing
No,
if
the
it's during the
council-
day, it's during the
this would
day,
be
so
the
I guess
full
it's
budget
the-
Okay.
hearing, yeah,
That's what I wasn't sure
where
about.
the department heads would be.
I better put it on my calendar for that then, because I'll probably have to be here.
So are you thinking week before, week after, or
maybe
day
just-
before, day after?
Well, it would either need to be, go up or down a week, or do it like on Friday, so we had time to,
Send notice,
Yeah.
advertise.
well, because we get stuff in on Monday, I don't wanna turn it around for Wednesday. But
I think I could do that Friday.
it's Friday the 21st.
That works,
Okay.
works for me.
I think that will, okay,
You need a motion to that effect.
yeah,
Move to move the August 20th plat committee to August 21st on Friday.
So moved.
Motion to move our meeting by Jared to the 21st of August, and seconded by Nick, I think. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay.
With the materials, so we do the same day.
Yeah, yep, we're doing, that way we can keep it on Monday and don't have to push it to like the Friday before or something like that. All right, I think we're ready for. Yep. Okay.
Sure. Yep.
A year ago, I ended up selling my hog barns, and at that time, the setbacks for when I built those were, I believe, 100 feet, and we surveyed that all off, and it fit really well. It didn't impede on the farm ground too much, and so it just made everything real clean. So my son, Andrew, and I talked, I says, let's do the same thing to his hog barns. I own all the ground around it basically here. And so in 2016, I give him the land to put his hog barns up. And so we're here now, you know, just the tillable acres is what I wanted to survey off that's inside that green box. Just in case if he ever wanted to sell it in the future, I just wanted to survey off, and I would own that and pay the taxes on it, and leave the setbacks in place. They would never move. It'd be a negative easement that would go with the farm, and it would just make everything simpler. If he would ever sell it off, I would, easier to farm, easier to own it, and things like that. So he would still own basically everything on the driveway and the grass and things like that. And so I'm here today try to see if we could, see if something would work to do that. And
So, yeah, just kind of give Plat Committee members a little background on this. So this is a operation that was approved through our current ordinance. The ordinance starts that there's a 300-foot setback requirement unless if the structure, unless if reducing that to 100 feet pulls it away from the closest home. So both of the closest homes on this property were to the west of the site, which is why the buildings are closer, or pushed up against the east side. And then when it was broken off the property, the rest of the property lines meet or exceed that 300-foot setback.
So just for scale,
Yes.
from the east edge of the barns to that east line,
Yeah.
that is 100 feet-ish.
Yeah.
We'll say 100 feet.
Yep.
So you had said just the grass line, it doesn't appear that there would be 100 feet between the west line of the buildings and the grass line being 100 feet.
well, we could move that out if it need to be.
It would need to be, I guess, if we went down to the 100, it would need to stay at least 100, right? I mean, is that, 100 is the minimum that
Yes,
we,
100 is a minimum, and it's not just our minimum, it is the state's
there's
minimum.
an IDEM requirement about that.
Yep. Yes.
One more question. So are you thinking, Steve, on the north side of the barns, reducing that down as far as you can, 100 feet? And I'm assuming that's a mortality barn back at the back?
That is correct, and I'm thinking on the north side, it's more than 100 feet there, but that would just stay,
Basically 100,
yeah, 100 plus.
100 on the west side.
And we could do it,
This is what you would like to do, I guess. 100 on the west side. And then what about on the south side?
Well, there again, we could, 100 feet would be fine on the south side as well, to make things look,
So that driveway would kind of still be 25 feet wide until however far, and then might have to jet out to be 100.
yeah, I'm thinking it's probably gonna come out, around that 60 feet past the driveway to the south, if you needed to get to 100 feet. I know, Andrew, he had called Corey, initially do the survey, and then we found out, we got these farther setbacks, so that's why we're,
So,
Yeah,
when this was developed, we had it's under the current ordinance.
correct.
Point system for odor abatement and all that.
Yep.
There's a recorded document on the setback, or not on the setbacks necessarily, on the point values that they have to keep that 220 point minimum odor abatement threshold. Currently, they're just above the 220 because of, in the original agreement, there was supposed to be a shelter belt, trees around the perimeter.
I'd have to ask Andrew, because he probably knows them details more than,
Well, that was one of the things that was in the plan. It's in the recorded agreement that they were gonna do the shelter belt.
so that needed to be put in.
Well,
No,
it didn't have to because that gave them way more than the 220.
Okay, so they're,
They didn't have to do it, still met the 220 minimum point value.
okay,
In order, whenever you go down to a 100-foot setback, that reduces points further.
Yep.
So there'd have to be something to get that back to 220.
well, can we leave the setbacks as they are? I mean, that's what I'm requesting, is leave the setbacks as they are on, like, the property, the green line, and we would just survey just the tillable property that I would own, but the setbacks would stay in place.
So, yeah, so you're talking about the negative easement or no?
Yes, a negative ease, by doing that, that way, the only thing that changes is I'm paying the property tax and owning that tillable ground, and we can leave all, easement stays with it.
So I think what's maybe being pitched is that an acceptable version of meeting the setbacks per the ordinance, which is kind of complicated because it says two property lines. That's no longer a property line, that is something else.
Right.
Now, generally speaking, when you reduce something that is required in the ordinance, you take on a point penalty or you have to maintain more points. So in this case, it's 10 points for the first request and then 20 points for each of the following. So in this case, there's 3 reduction requests. So it'd be adding 50 points, or instead of 220, you would have 270 points that you'd have to maintain.
270.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and this is to keep the operation in compliance with the
Yes,
ordinance?
correct.
Okay. So if they just put the shelter belt in, that's not gonna quite get them there.
Yeah.
What else are option? I mean, he's pitching the negative easement. What are the other options that we can throw out of, like, hey, you could do this and, and maybe part of it is that negative I mean, you could go 300 feet from that mortality barn. It far exceeds that now.
Yeah, there's more than 300 feet on that side.
You could go down to that 300 feet today and it wouldn't change anything, I guess. You could pick a line through here at 300 feet from the back of the mortality barn. That could be transferred with no issue.
Yeah, that is correct. Any excess could be.
Do we know, is it really close to the 300 on the west side?
I think so. I think there's.
I'm just
I think
scaling
the
it
other-
off
I
the
think
map.
the other, I think it's just the north side that was not.
It went farther.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could do that without any issue. So what other options? Shelter belt is 40 points.
Yes.
And that gets you to the 263. You only have to do some other smaller thing.
So the
What else is
possibility,
there?
did they, I mean, there's a possibility if they didn't use the, filter strip part in one of their land applied locations has an open ditch, so you could do a 20-foot filter strip on, that would be worth points.
A filter strip along the open ditch, is that?
If one of your manure, one of the properties where you have in your manure application plan has an open ditch, you could do filter strips.
If it already, say it wasn't claimed in the original.
If it wasn't claimed in the original points, that would be something to get 20 points.
And what would that be under
So it'd be listed in the items there.
residential, liquid manure, enclosed mortality, shelter belt,
Yeah, so they
liquid inject, so they didn't
Yeah,
claim any of
didn't
that.
claim. So if that, you can only use that if there is an open ditch on one of those listed parcels. So you'd have to look at that and then install that.
What if it's already installed?
Then they get point.
They can still
it's
claim it.
Yeah,
Still
correct.
claim
Yeah,
it.
so as long as it's
been
20,
claimed yet.
as long as it's compliant, it's 20 feet from the top of the bank on either side, then
How much did you say the shelter belt's worth?
The shelter belt's worth 40,
40, yes.
which would get them to 263.9 right now. Basically what was agreed to. Because they didn't do the shelter belt, which takes it down to 223.9 is what
Yeah.
we're at. So if they did the tree planting, that gets them to the number that was originally agreed to. And if any of the farms that are in the manure management plan have filter strips on the ditch, is it any or all?
They all have to.
I think almost every farm you have has filter strips on it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's
of
just,
some
just have to
degree.
look to see which ones are in the,
They have to be at least 20 feet.
yes, and they have to be in the manure plan. They can't be other properties.
Do you have a copy of that manure management plan, or is that
Not
Andrew?
with me today, I do.
But I mean, do you have a copy, or
I'll have
you can
to-
get it from Andrew?
I'll have to talk to
Okay.
Andrew, yeah.
Okay,
But you could check that to
How many
see
points could that add?
20.
that would add 20,
Yeah,
which,
which would be,
by doing the tree planting around it and claiming that, then you could go to the 100-foot setback without doing any easement work.
Oh, okay. Well, easement sounds easier.
Well,
I don't think the easement.
I don't know that it
easement would
accomplishes
require-
what,
The easement might require the plan commission or staff to approve something that doesn't meet requirements, but this would smooth that process out.
Okay. You said, so any farm that's in the manure management, it would need a 20-foot,
Yep,
okay.
if it doesn't already have one 20-foot wide.
it just needs to be installed.
You would have to install it, but if it's already there, 20-foot wide.
Well, then could I go to NRCS and get them to pay? for it?
There you go. I think the filter strip program is continuous enrollment CRP. I think it is.
That's through the FSA side.
I know.
I think it is.
But yeah,
I wouldn't, well, just a thought. And we do already have a lot of grass strips that are very wide. We mow them and we operate off those when we're harvesting and things like that, just farming in general. But,
So if you already have at least a 20-foot wide strip,
some might need to be widened a little bit.
Sure.
But in general, yes.
I mean, I know I've worked on ditches.
Yes.
And it's, there's nice grass along most of them, so.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I know, you were good.
So, yeah, as long as,
So that would be an option without having to go through all the paperwork of the easement and all of that, is if they did the shoulder belt around,
yeah, the original shoulder belt approval was on the three sides that the woods was not on, and then if the woods was removed later on, they would have to install it. That was how the agreement was put together. So as long as they.
I own
develop that.
I own the woods, and so it will stay.
Correct, but that's what I was saying, that was why it was accepted.
Okay,
And other, if it was owned by somebody completely different at that time, you would have had to install it all the way around all four sides.
if they don't want to do the shoulder belt, what other options?
So any of the tier 1 or tier 2 odor abatements, or anything that could be approved by Purdue.
So we'd have to look at that PAAQL.
Yeah.
Because they've got the,
Well, you don't have whether it's a shelter belt or a windbreak wall, which could be a 6 or 8 foot tall fence around the structure. Either one of those would be a possibility.
I think a natural tree, I like that, but
Yeah, it's,
there are several of them up north end of the county have put those in.
you know,
Mike Fichter, he's got them around his years ago.
And I've worked
Yeah.
around those. It actually, it's kind of amazing how much that cuts down on the odor. I think the trees kind of catch the dust,
yeah,
and it is kind of amazing how.
they do,
much
and
it
they also,
does. And you can't see it, then you don't even know it's a hog barn. You think it's a woods back there, so.
but, yeah, there's two benefits. It also knocks down noise too while you're doing it. But yeah, the shoulder belt is 2 staggered rows of 6 foot tall planted, or you can do a mound if you have access to dirt, and then you can plant a smaller tree up front. But the installed height has to be 6 feet.
So let me ask another question. Say the operation doesn't want to do the shoulder belt, but Steve says, hey, I'll plant that in 20 feet around that area on what he would end up owning. That he says, hey, I'll do that, and that were somehow easement or deed restricted or whatever, that has to go in and stay. It accomplishes the same thing as the shoulder belt.
Yeah, but all 3 parties would probably have to sign that.
Everybody would have to agree to that.
Yeah.
But does it accomplish the same thing of having a shoulder belt around it?
I don't think it doesn't accomplish it. It's just not as clean.
It's not as clean, but if that were an option,
But I would think about using in that case, the original, and then we can look at the other things. How long has that operation been?
2016 was when these were put up.
So you haven't had any violations, have you?
No, not that I know of. But I would have found out through the grant.
Contacted.
I
I
would-
might be able to count the points for not operating without a violation. So
how many points is that?
that's the same. I think it's 20. I think it's 20. Yeah, yeah.
I know since I built mine in '09, and we never had a violation, we never,
Points.
of any kind,
Yeah,
so.
So that would help too.
yeah, that would potentially help. So, sounds like there's options. I would,
If we could have a list of something that we could maybe go by, then
Yep.
get your approval of what would work, and then,
yeah, then once we have that, I think before we would transfer the property or approve the additions to transfer the property out, we would want to see those things installed or completed. So
okay.
that way they're in place, and then they can be handled in that process. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I guess so.
in
I don't,
that piece.
This is an administrative question, but if a CAFO does, I know we always tell them they've got to maintain that points.
Yeah.
If they do switch around stuff and Like maybe they discontinue this, but they start doing up this, does it have to go to the planning commission, or is that just an administrative check off?
We can do that at the staff
Okay.
approval level, because it doesn't change the number of animals in the operation.
Okay.
So, with
That
no
makes it
significant
easier.
change, we just work with them, and even in the agreement, it says that we are aware that technology and things change. So that you can add, we just put together an updated agreement, say that this is taking place of the one before, and operate under the new.
Makes it easier.
Yeah.
So, not having any violations.
Yeah. Yeah, so no violations, filter strip and shelter belt would be the,
Would be 20.
yeah,
The,
as far as the three options or things they could operate with.
With the,
filter strip is another 20.
Yeah,
They're gonna take a 50-point
yep,
penalty for not meeting the full 300-foot setback.
yep,
Okay, so
Can I ask a quick question on that
yeah,
penalty? If he keeps 300 feet from the north, it looks right now his north line where the grass is
Yeah.
probably pretty close to, I mean, it might not have to go out too far into the field to meet that 300-foot minimum.
yeah,
So if he takes
that's-
that off, that'd
you,
take less
20 points
penalty.
come, yeah, so it's 30 points instead of 50.
If we keep the
Yeah,
300 feet on the north,
yes, yeah, so
move to
if,
100 on the west.
absolutely, yep, and it's just, it's 10 for the first one, 20 for each one after that, so
That would save
whatever the request, yes, correct.
and if you, on that south one, if you didn't really care about it, if it's mainly on the west that you're trying to, it
yes,
would only be a 10-point penalty.
Yeah, so that, and that, yeah, to the point of which, what do you actually want to reduce? And if you're only reducing one of them, then we just have to look at that,
okay.
so. Yeah, and if, for the no violation thing, we just need like an email correspondence or printout
Okay,
from IDEM.
right, yeah.
Yep.
I'll have Andrew contact them, and he could.
Yeah.
We'll get these.
Usually they have like a report that prints out like when there's been like the inspections and all that stuff, and so we've seen it before.
Okay.
But I think that's a,
Kind of an option
Right.
forward.
yeah, yep,
Well, it would just make everything look cleaner to farm, and everything really wouldn't change a lot, except just. Yeah. Exactly, so,
Probably the least desirable would be if you put some of those things on property that you would end up owning, and then there would still have to be like easement agreement or
yeah,
deed restriction. That's probably the least desirable,
correct,
but,
because you would then have to maintain them.
yeah, you're on the hook for it instead of the operation. And if you sold it, that's gonna transfer with the sale of the property, so you wouldn't, or if your son sold it.
yeah. So like on the south end, how far we'd have to have a shelter barrier there
Yes.
of trees?
Yep. Yeah, it's gotta go around everything but the driveway, so it's,
Okay.
the driveway is a gap, but that's, everything else has to be in,
But it could be right up against the driveway.
yes, yeah.
It doesn't have to be,
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be 100 feet away from the building.
Okay,
It can be closer to the buildings.
Yes, yeah, that would be the expectation too, and a matter of fact, the effectiveness is better if it's closer.
The closer it is, the better. Have you been up to Mike's?
Yeah, I've been there several times, or, been around it. I mean, you can't see it.
I'm guessing,
After so many years, it's pretty well overgrown.
I'm guessing from the edge of the barn to the trees is probably only 20,
It's
25
not
feet,
a lot,
maybe?
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that way, I mean, you could even still farm some of that potentially. If you kept the trees up closer, you could probably still farm even some of it.
I'd just be satisfied where it's at, and-
Sure,
and it's,
sure. I don't like mowing grass, so I wouldn't want any more grass than I had to.
Well, I don't like,
That grass
I don't like
grows
mowing
pretty
around
good.
trees, so. I might have to hire someone. I think Minnick was a neighbor over there. I could just hire Minnick.
Yeah.
Say, Andrew, just send me the bill, and
I mean, once that shelter belt gets established, you're not mowing in between them anyway.
I don't want, no, you can't,
You
yeah.
just mow along the edge. Yeah.
You know how the spacing between them trees are? I mean,
So that's an arborist or landscaping company would tell you what the desired spacing is.
5 feet maybe.
They don't require, depending on the species.
Staggered rows, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so I
staggered
bet
rows, so.
Maybe it's 10 feet between each,
Probably closer to 10.
in each row, and then they're staggered, so you can't see through them.
Like
Yeah.
basically
would we have some choices to determine which trees we could go with?
Yes, correct. You just have to, the species that you end with has to be planted at 6 feet tall when it's installed.
I think salix is the trees they use. Green
that's-
rocket.
There's several
Yeah,
species.
yeah, they grow fast.
Yeah, the
There's
fast
several
growing and-
species.
And then they go into tile. Well, I don't know,
Many of
I'm
those,
just saying.
Yeah, they do tend to operate like.
But, I don't know, like pine trees or anything like that, I don't know.
It is like a
Maybe
hybrid willow.
afterwards, I've got suggestion for.
Okay, great.
Okay. I think there's definitely.
there's a path forward.
Okay, very good, I appreciate that.
Some hoops, but there's always hoops, right?
You know, I'm good at that, right? No, I'm not. Thanks, Cory.
You gotta keep in mind, our ordinance is to try to do as much odor abatement as possible, and so that's what we're trying to do.
Job's gonna get a little harder in the future here, so,
Yeah, we know.
I seen it down like 5 miles of road one day, it was sprayed. And, nothing.
They might not be able to claim that, no violations in the last 10 years.
I think I even called, them about it.
You should.
We got a blacktop road and they only power washed maybe 100 feet.
Yeah.
The rest of the mile, they just let it go and, which.
That's what you should do. You don't want other people tarnishing other businesses, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Any other discussion for the record? Okay. And we'll adjourn at 9:45.